Chilling and tragic details have been released about the last day and hours of the Reiner family's life. I was shocked upon hearing the information that I heard. I am very, very touched by it, and I think you'll be as well. So I'm going to get into all of that as soon as I give some housekeeping or updates on Nick Reiner and his actual case. So, as I mentioned previously, I pre-record this podcast a day in advance. And so today it's Tuesday, January 6th, but by the time you watch this, it'll be January 7th, and Nick Reiner is set to be arraigned. If you recall, his attorney, Alan Jackson, had said he wasn't necessarily ready to enter a plea yet, which had many of us speculating, as well as experts, that they were bringing in a doctor of some sort to evaluate his mental health so he could enter a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. Or maybe this doctor will tell us that Nick Reiner is not competent to stand trial at all. I have no idea what's going to happen. Most likely, we will see today. I am planning on doing a live stream, as Alan Jackson generally will give a short press conference after a court appearance. So I plan on doing that, and also having our favorite high profile criminal defense attorney join me, Mark Garagos, to give some commentary, as he has such great insights on all of these cases. Also, Nick Reiner was reportedly removed from Suicide Watch. And what this means is, instead of getting constant checks, he will get checked on pretty much every 15 minutes. So he is still in segregation, or I guess solitary for his own protection, but he's totally off Suicide Watch. And most likely, if you watched my live stream with Dr. Dwayne Hendricks, who was the former warden at MDC, he let us know that once you're in the jail, it is totally up to the jail staff, and I mean the medical staff as well, to do these mental health evaluations and determine if one is healthy enough to be removed from Suicide Watch. So it sounds like Nick Reiner is doing okay in that sense. Of course, I don't know exactly how he's doing inside. I mean, this is something I think about all the time. Does he realize what he did? Does he wake up in a cold sweat having flashbacks of what he did? Let's say if he blacked out. I just, I wonder about this. I can't help it. I'm human. But let me see. Yes. So the arraignment is again scheduled for today, 8:30 a.m. PST, 11:30 Eastern. Stay tuned again for my live stream and for commentary from Mark Garagos. Okay, so I also previously reported about Nick Reiner's reported schizophrenia recently being diagnosed, the fact that he was most likely on several different medications per his doctors, trying to find an even balance. But there were further reports that he was possibly abusing drugs that were non-prescription, and this combination is just not good, not okay. But let's get to what I really wanted to talk about today. What really surprised me about just the timeline and an email that was sent by Michelle Reiner in the hours leading up to her death. Now, of course, we don't know exactly when she passed away or when the time of death was, but reports have surfaced that Michelle and Rob Reiner had a very deep and loving bond with a former death row inmate, Nannen Williams, who was convicted of a 1992 red rum that he claims he did not commit. And after seeing some kind of performance or some type of show based on his life, they started corresponding with him daily for years. And they actually said, if we can ever get you released, because, I haven't gotten to this part yet, but he obviously, Nannen Williams has said, I'm innocent and this is why. And they were advocates for him. And they said, if we ever get you released, we would love to have you live with us. So that's just incredible of them. I mean, they were very, very generous people from what I understand. And again, they were huge advocates just for The legal system, obviously, they were not fans of President Trump, so they were Democratic advocates. But this Texas inmate, Nanan Williams, he had spent more than 3 decades on or in prison for the 1992 killing of this 19-year-old man. And he was 17. Williams was 17 at the time of the killing. And he was originally sentenced to death. And then he was actually, his sentence was commuted to life in prison, basically just due to some type of Supreme Court law that was banning the execution of minors. So that, he was very lucky there. But Williams was really just gunning for a new trial. So this case in general, it caught the eye of the Reiners, and it's known for having these ballistics errors and just very questionable witness testimony. As many of these older cases do, they rely on the testimony of a witness because DNA testing wasn't that great back then. So again, the Reiners were just like, wow, this case, we feel very strongly about it, and we feel like he is innocent. So again, they first learned about him in 2016 after seeing this performance. It was called Lyrics from Lockdown, and it was a spoken word play inspired by Williams and actually some of his writings from prison. So, like I said, they began corresponding with him, becoming very close. I mean, essentially, these reports say they were almost like family, and they corresponded weekly, if not daily. And now Williams, in a recent interview, he described the Reiners as an integral part of his life. And meanwhile, he is still in prison. So, also Romy, their daughter, had said, yeah, this guy is becoming like family to us. So, December 14th, apparently, Michelle Reiner had sent an email to Williams, and he did not get this email until days later, just due to the prison system, due to these different screenings that they have in order for an inmate to receive emails. So there was a big delay. So in her message, she was apparently writing to him about that show, Lyrics from Lockdown, and how her friends just loved it and wanted to talk to him about it and all of this stuff. So it was a really nice, positive email. But he learned of the Reiners' deaths on one of the prison-issued tablets. He was just reading the news stories, just flipping through, and he said he texted Michelle when he saw that. And he just said, please, this can't be true. And then he realized that it was true after all. So when he saw that email, he was just like, what? I cannot believe I missed that. And I just thought that was such an incredible story. Just that, again, the Reiners just seemed like really nice people. I mean, whichever side of the political aisle you fall on, I just don't think that matters in this moment, because they were humans, and they had influence, and they used their influence for good. If this guy is innocent, I mean, there's always a chance, that one is not, but right. I mean, again, they felt strongly about his innocence, and a lot of people do, apparently. I feel like I need to do a deep dive on this case because, yeah. But then there was the 2026 Critics' Choice Awards over the weekend, and so many celebrities had such good things to say about Rob Reiner. I mean, Chelsea Handler, she was the host, and she just honored them as just being super decent and compassionate people and having a positive impact on the community. So I just thought that was so crazy, so just, God, so chilling. I mean, I just cannot imagine reading the news of someone's death and going and seeing an email from them and not being able to respond, or not having responded when I had the chance to. And obviously that's life. He didn't mean to, but I thought it was a good story to share. So guys, I also plan on having hopefully an expert, a mental health expert, come on and talk about Nick Reiner. I'm hoping for Dr. Drew. I'm having a bit of scheduling issues with him. So hopefully we can get him on soon because I know that he has really excellent commentary when it comes to mental health and he has treated people like her. So anyway, I hope you can join me for the live stream and continue to listen to this podcast, the Pop Culture Scandals and Crime News podcast. I'm Lauren Conlin. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.